and attractive for foreign investors and local investors. Dr. Inayat, we like to hear from you on that.
Gee, thank you very much, Robert. So let me first start by congratulating CFA Society for its 20th anniversary, and also thank them for inviting me here. It is amongst such high caliber professionals. So I will actually start with the statement that was made by Arif Bhai, that during the times when the exchange rate was stable and the interest rate was low, the stock market was doing well. So I will just like to qualify it that the stock market was actually doing well because the economy was doing well. And because the economy was doing well, so the exchange rate was stable and the interest rates were low. Because the exchange rate and the interest rate in themselves, they are actually sort of a derivative function of our economy. So if the economy is doing well and the prospects of the economy that it will continue to do well, of course the exchange rate will be stable. And during the distress time when the economy is not doing well and the prospects, future prospects are also not bright, of course there will be pressure on the exchange rate. Same goes with the interest rate, because interest rate in turn, of course there are other things as well, but primarily it is a function of inflation outlook. So where the inflation outlook would be high, the interest rate should be high to actually bring the inflation down. So that's one. The second, before I actually discuss this particular point, because Arif Bhai also made another suggestion that a task force should be made. I have been actually also dealing with task force now for last 20-25 years, and more or less actually task force has come up with the same sort of suggestion as actually Dr. Miftah also explained. We all know that what are the major issues. So as far as the identification of issues is concerned, I don't see that there is any disagreement. The problem is that how do we resolve it? So for example, fiscal deficit is a major problem, and in order to address fiscal deficit, of course, we need to increase the revenue and we need to control our expenditure. How do we increase the revenue? We increase the revenue by tapping the sectors that have been historically untaxed in Pakistan. To start with, for example, real estate. So in this budget, the government made sort of a feeble effort by putting tax on the second property that is owned by a person, and as a and through the mechanism of deemed income. We all know that the substantial wealth, as Arif Sahab also mentioned, is actually invested in property. That is the first choice of most of the Pakistanis in our country, and because of the reasons that have been just mentioned. But no government has yet tried to actually tax this sector. Similarly, services sector is almost wholly out of the tax net. Then agriculture tax again is an issue that is always sort of brushed off because it lies in the in province domain. On the expenses side, we all know that what we need to do. We need to actually get rid of these public sector enterprises. Again, Dr. Miftah actually mentioned it. Then the power sector is dragging down the whole economy, and we all know that what needs to be done. It is the privatization of the discos and privatization of the gencos and etc. So I think the issues are already well identified. The important thing is that one, how to actually go ahead, and who is going to take actually that difficult decision, because these are of course very difficult and complicated issues. In terms of the development of the capital market and how do we actually attract foreign investment in the capital markets, I think the first we should perhaps make it attractive for the domestic economy. Both, for example, the companies that they should be encouraged to get themselves listed on the stock exchange, and then in terms of investor base, we all know that the number of investors in the stock exchange is very low. So how do we make sure that in terms of risk and reward, the investment in the capital markets for the domestic investors is actually makes sense? And again, I mean the issues are well known. Most of the companies, they are hesitant to list on the stock exchange because one, they feel that there will be more scrutiny. There would be scrutiny in terms of, for example, their audited accounts. There would be more scrutiny from the regulators, and of course there would be more scrutiny by the shareholders, by the people who have invested in their in their shares. In terms of investment by the domestic investor, of course, because they have access to some of the asset classes, to topmost being the real estate that they feel is far more attractive. So I think there are some fundamental changes and structural changes that need to be introduced in the economy, and as soon as we actually start doing something about that, that would be better.
Oh, so thank you.